Right, guys, let me just alter the camera a bit so that I'm not... Actually, I could just move over, couldn't I? I'll just move over. There we go. Back in the middle. So that was an interesting live stream. A bit uncomfortable to do because obviously I'm quite a big fan of Shauna. But you know me, guys, when I get a bee in my bonnet, I'm just going to go with it. I don't have a choice. I can't stop myself. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I thought just to lighten our mood, we'd have a bit of a chilled out, bit of fun, just looking at some nice Elvis stuff. I haven't planned it. I just thought what we'll do, we'll just jump around. We'll just jump around on some Elvis stuff. Cheer us all up a bit. Yeah? So who have we got here? So we had like 35 people watching us on Defending Elvis. So now, just, you know, I did tell Shauna that we were doing that show. So I'm sure that I'm going to get a reaction when she wakes up. But I do it with respect. I do it as kind as I could. So there we go. It is what it is, guys. So what we're gonna do, I haven't picked out.
I think the first shows that I worked was down here, man, around Houston.
Remember what locations you worked here in Texas?
Well, I worked Houston. I worked Corpus Christi. Every little town here, Longview, man, you name it, I've been there. You know, really, I've been all over Texas.
What do you think of Texas?
I like it. I like it.
Elvis, can you
Really
give
enjoy
us, I understand with all the big engagements like Las Vegas, etc., the reason why you selected the livestock show and rodeo this year?
Well, they asked me to do it, and I was anxious to do some live appearances. You know, it'd been a long time since I've been on stage in front of anybody live. And I was anxious to do some live appearances.
The door, guys.
Thought it'd be a good opportunity to get in front of the people.
Have you ever seen the inside of the dome before?
Never have. It scares them. It's a big place, man.
You've been known in the past as a king of rock and roll. Do you think your style has changed now from the days that you were king, or do you consider that still your style?
Well, I think the overall thing has improved. The overall sound's improved, I mean. But I think it's according to the songs, you know. It's just according to the songs.
Is your stage presentation still the same way it was, or have you improved on that?
Well, I just do whatever I feel.
Okay, sorry guys, I have
Stage.
to let my son in.
As I always did that.
Are you going to keep making films?
Of course, look how beautiful that man is. He's like perfect. Penny, you girls out there, come on. Does it get any better looking than that? Please put it in the comments.
I hope to. Well, I like to make better films than the kind I made before. Well, better than the ones I made before. You know.
I mean, West
Excuse me, I can't take this fresh air, man. I'm used to the garbage can at the International Hotel, man.
Come on, his sense of humor is like the best. I love that shirt. I think we can see that shirt now, can't we? If you go to Graceland, isn't that shirt on display? I mean, he just... guys, put it in the comments what year this is. You teach me. I'm guessing early 1970. You guys are going to know better than me.
If I can't smell some garbage, I don't feel at home, man, I'll tell you.
Do you have any films in the making right now, or any plans?
No, there's nothing in, as far as I know of, is there, Colonel? Anything in the workings?
I can't commit to myself.
An 8mm Walt Disney special we're doing next year, I think. I don't know.
So guys, if the sound's playing up, let's give it a few more minutes. If it carries on, I'll just have to restart everything, yeah? So just let me know in your comments about the sound. Are you hearing my voice okay?
We're shooting some now, right?
There's nothing as far as I know, no.
When you look at your opportunity to go and try to fill up the Astrodome,
Well, it'll be the type of stuff that I do. It's a mixture of things, you know. It's a little rock and a little country western
Essentially
flavor.
the same show you do international.
See, the thing I like about Elvis is that whenever you ask him any question, he doesn't like get defensive or a bit taken aback. He just wants to give you as honest an answer as he can give you. Just really down to earth and very likable, very friendly, very respectful, comes across very kind. He does care about the interviewer. It matters to him that you get an answer that you're happy with.
Yeah, it's the same type of thing. A lot of different type of songs. So I just hope I can put on a good show,
Whatever
mainly.
happened to the Jordanaires?
He always does.
I can't get them out of Nashville, man. They got stuck in Nashville, and
So you love Denise. You love his puffy cheeks and his smile. Denise, is there anything about him you don't love? Denise, is there anything about him you don't love?
you know, they make so much money, and they do so well in Nashville. You can't get them out of there. You know?
Do you have any thoughts about the rising interest in country music?
I think it's fantastic. You see, country music was always a part of the influence on my type of music anyway. It's a combination of country music and gospel and rhythm and blues all combined. Is what it really was.
And we've really come to learn this, haven't we? That it was, he blended all of his favourite music, types of genres, whatever you call it, and made it his own, created his own style from his influences, going way back to Tupelo.
As a child, I was influenced by all of that.
Do you consider yourself basically a country music singer then?
I would hate to say strictly country because of the fact that I liked all different types of music when I was a child. You know, of course, the Grand Ole Opry was the first thing I ever heard, probably. But I liked blues and I liked the gospel music, gospel quartets and all that.
Yeah, and it's funny now because obviously this is early 70s. Yeah, Dan, what year is this? Do you know? But all the movies now, all the documentaries, all the interviews, all of it, it all goes back to Elvis's influences as a child. Created Elvis. Yeah, not his influences in his 20s or 30s. His influences as a child set the mold for who he became as a performer, as he developed, as he evolved, and he went through the 60s, through the 70s. It was his childhood influences. You know, in Tupelo, Mississippi Tupelo, early Memphis, you know, the first few years in Memphis, created Elvis. Created Elvis.
Pull out any of those old records from the Sun label and listen to them.
1970.
They sound funny, boy. They got a lot of...
Yeah, and I always find this interesting. Now, obviously, around 1970, when he's being asked, he's almost embarrassed of the echo on the songs, you know, the low quality of the recordings. But I tell you what, now, in 2025, we love them. We love them. We're like, wow, we love the echo. We love the originality of those very old 1950s cuts. And, but at the, you know, in 1970, Elvis finds it embarrassing. So it's funny.
A lot of echo on them, man, I'll tell you. But that's what I mean. I think the overall sound has improved today, you know.
In other words, you
So Angie, I'm going to ask you now, Angie. You just said Elvis has the best laugh, which he does. But is there anything you don't like about Elvis?
you are available to the public only in films
Yeah.
for a long period of time.
Well, I think the most important thing is the inspiration that I got from a live audience. I was missing that. I didn't.
Was it rough at the International? Was it a little bit of a strain on you for not being out front of them?
So, you know, he just said he missed it. That's the truth, guys. He went through all of the 60s, many movies, a lot of the movies we absolutely love, a lot of the songs in the movies we love. It doesn't matter how they trash the films, because we keep hearing some quite negative stuff about a lot of the films made through the 60s. But I tell you what, I love them all. I love them all, because we get to see Elvis at his looking his best. A lot of these corny, cheesy songs, I really like them. How many of the songs in the movies are actually really good? Yeah, I know that all of the soundtracks were massive hits, weren't they? So it's funny because now looking back, you know, 2025, looking back, we adore all the films. But growing up, you know, in the 80s and 90s, noughties, the films were trashed because they were classed as, some of them were classed as being corny and cheesy. But now I love that they're corny and cheesy. Someone said this to me the other day. Who else could have done a corny, cheesy film as well as Elvis? Elvis made, you know, these so-called beach films, girl films. Who could have done it better than Elvis? No one. No one would have made those films like Blue Hawaii, or Viva Las Vegas, or Kissing Cousins, those kind of films, as good as Elvis did. Elvis, even though he didn't respect them, he knew he could do better. He knew that he had the ability to do a very serious, decent, dramatic roles. He knew it. He proved it in Jailhouse Rock and King Creole. He proved how good he could be. But he still, when he made these so-called cheesy movies, did a bloody good job of it. I don't think anyone could have made a cheesy movie as well as Elvis. He really owned it. And when I was a kid growing up, you know, in 1980, 1977, 1978, and I watched these reruns of the films Elvis made through the 60s, I love them. I love them. They're a big part of the reason I became a fan. I ask you guys, how many of you guys loved the so-called cheesy movies? Fell in love with Elvis because of the so-called cheesy movies? I would say most of you. Most of us fell in love with the so-called cheesy movies with Elvis. So I speak very highly of all of the movies, all of them. Obviously, I know the ones, the standout ones that where he was given a decent role, you know, like King Creole, which originally was going to be played by James Dean, but James Dean passed away, unfortunately, in a car crash. But for different reasons, I like every movie for different reasons.
It was always tough, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. Like I know I'm going to enjoy it here because it's a live audience and it makes a world of difference.
Let me ask you one thing. What's your father up to?
He's around here somewhere. Ask him. I don't know. Daddy, what are you up to?
Skip the phone, will you?
Miss
Presley?
Elvis, there's evidence of such.
Elvis's father, Mr. Vernon Presley.
Could you come right in and sit down?
Vernon, don't sign nothing unless I check. I can't write. I never signed it.
It's just fresh air, man.
Elvis, there's quite an evidence of sartorial splendor. Does this indicate that the...
What?
Yeah, I don't know if you feel the same, guys. I love it when Elvis and Vernon sit with each other. I love it. There's the other interview, the very famous interview, where he shows off his belt and he says, "I plead innocent." Vernon comes into that as well, doesn't he? At some point they say to him, "Oh, can we ask your dad a question? Can we ask Vernon a question?" And Elvis is like, "Oh, yeah, okay." I just love seeing them together. I don't care what people say about Vernon and Elvis's friendship, relationship, father, son, all that. They loved each other deeply, and I love seeing them together.
What?
The attire is not one that we're familiar with seeing.
It's it was taken from a karate suit, just a regular karate type outfit. Are they coming to get me? Is that it?
I mean, does this indicate that with your type dress and everything now that you're changing a little bit of style, perhaps in deference to what you did a few years ago?
I don't know. I think that you'd have to see the show. You know, it's difficult to tell. I don't feel any different. You know. I don't think the dress has that much to do with it. I got the idea.
It's funny because you see Elvis here, don't you? Look, there's Vernon there, he's scratching his nose and that, and he lifts his lip up. He does a little curly lip. Should we go back a bit, guys? I find this quite interesting, yeah? The camera zooms in on Vernon. You see Elvis. I sort of blend in Gladys. You see the blend of Gladys and Vernon. Vernon was a handsome guy, wasn't he, guys? Let's watch him curl his lip up when he scratches his nose, guys.
I don't feel any different, you know. I don't think the dress has that much to do with it.
Guys, you see that? He does the curly lip bit. I love it.
I got the idea from a karate suit because I studied karate for a long time, and I had to make up a couple of suits like it.
What do you do for relaxation? You said you study
Karate. If you can relax doing this, I don't know. No, I read a lot and go horseback riding and stuff like that.
Do you still live principally in
Memphis. About half the time. Yeah, half the time.
Come on, he loved Memphis. Come on. He loved Elvis's home was Memphis. I think the only reason Elvis ever left Memphis was to keep Priscilla happy. Seriously, guys. I think the reason that Elvis had different homes, we all know them, they're very famous, was because of Priscilla didn't want to live in Memphis. Honestly, she didn't like Graceland. I know that now Priscilla, wherever she gets interviewed, talks about how much she loved Graceland. We've all seen the interviews like with Larry King with Priscilla in Graceland, and you know, she always reminisces at how happy it was in Graceland. But the truth is, guys, she didn't even like Graceland. She didn't even like Memphis. That's the truth. Anyway, we're not defending here, but you know, you get my point.
Half the time in L.A.
In the show you have planned for the Dome, do you plan any of the old songs, some of the first ones?
I'd like to, you know.
Yeah.
Any special ones?
Try a couple of them. Just as if they work.
We're really glad to have you down there.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you again. Elvis, let me pin this on. This is your official badge. And we got another one. Didn't want to put your name on. Not that people didn't know who you were, but we were afraid they'd be trying to take it off for a souvenir. We want to pin that on.
So I love this. Do you know what I like about this section of the video? It's just how respectful and kind Elvis is to this gentleman. Let's keep listening.
Mr. President, it's a real pleasure to have you down here with your son, too.
Thank you.
We think we're going to set all kinds of records down here.
Thank you very much.
I hope I can give them a good show. That's the most important.
Mr. Presley, it's a pleasure to have you here in Texas. You know, it's a pleasure. You know, I hope I give him a good show.
You will. No question about that. It sure will.
If I can give them a good show, then I feel like I've done something.
You will. What's the biggest live crowd you've ever performed for?
If I'm not mistaken, it was in Vancouver, Canada. Wasn't it, Colonel?
Answer the phone. So, guys, when this ends, I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to come back on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, and we're going to do a diet-related video. So, all of you guys, I'm going to end this live stream, and I'm going to come straight back on here on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, and we're going to do the diet. We're going to discuss Karen's success. Karen, we're going to make you part of our topic, and Carolyn, and anyone else that has had success on the diet, the carnivore diet, the keto diet. We're going to discuss it now in 3 minutes. Let's let this play out first.
In the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. It was about 25,000, I guess, something like that.
Is Mr. Gracie
I
here?
think.
They're great. It's one of the men that started our livestock show. One of the
Gentlemen,
greatest.
this is Chris Caramanis, who was
Yeah,
kind
sure,
enough
nice
to
to
bring
see you.
us down here
This
to
is Mr.
play.
Presley's son, Bear
I
Gracie.
think he deserves a little recognition.
Well, I think so, if it's the right type of song. I think so. It's the right type of material.
You made a couple of
But
songs.
yes, I have. I did, like, in the ghetto, and I don't know. I wouldn't like to do all that type stuff, you know. Well, in other words, I wouldn't like for everything to be a message, because I think that there's still entertainment to be, you know, considered.
Okay, right. I think that's the end of that. Right. So, guys, let me just pause that. I think that's going to be fine. Okay, let me just X that off. So, guys, right. Okay. Right. So 5 minutes. I'll be back. We're going to do a video celebrating the success of people like Carolyn and Karen and we're going to be doing it on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. 5 minutes. Okay, guys? Here on this channel. Okay. So thanks, guys. I'll see you in a sec. Thank you for joining me.